Good morning, second English students. Now we will move to part 4 of the lesson of the essay or the prose, the Renaissance in India. Okay, so in part 4, Sri Aurobindo says, what is spirituality? What is Indian spirituality? And what is the spirituality which we have to revive? Okay. So what is spirituality? What is the concept of spirituality? And everything he explains in detail, and we have to follow it. Then only it is good for the world, for the whole humanity, and especially for the Indians. Okay. So the greatest action by the Indians, or the greatest action in Renaissance in India is spiritual rebirth. Okay, so the greatest action that Indians should do for Renaissance in India is that spiritual rebirth. Okay, so what do you? So then naturally the question comes: what is spirituality? Okay, Europeans differentiate practicality and spirituality. Okay. Europeans differentiate practicality and spirituality, but India do not differentiate practicality and spirituality. India doesn't have, India do not have such kind of differentiation. Okay, and see. Most of the people believe that spirituality is different from practical life, material life, but Indians were the first not to differentiate it. Okay, so this is the idea, and Indians were the first. And in the latter part of the essay, Aurobindo says that now only Europeans are thinking that there is no point in differentiating spirituality and practicality. Okay, so both are actually same. Today only some Europeans are thinking about that, but Indians already thought about it. Okay, earthly life, that is material life, that is our practical life, cannot be put in vain. Okay, vain, no use. Okay, we cannot simply say that material life is of no use. Material life is useful for humanity. Okay, therefore there is nothing wrong in working to earn money. Okay, to enjoy our life. Okay, earning money and enjoy our life. So it is also one kind of spirituality. It is also one means or way of attaining spirituality. Okay, so first this is the first point that all of us must understand, and Indians are the first to say this point. Okay, spirituality and material life are same. Okay, religion is one way of seeking eternal divinity. Okay, so the next point: religion is one way of seeking eternal divinity. Okay, so earning money is also one way of attaining spirituality. Religion is also one way of attaining spirituality. Okay, religion itself is not spirituality. Practicality itself is not spirituality. We need everything. We need religion, practicality, earning money, everything we need to attain spirituality. Okay, and then next important point about spirituality is spirituality is actually eradication of poverty. Spirituality is actually eradication of poverty, discoveries in science, and the creation of philosophy. Okay, everything is actually spirituality. If government and government is nothing but human beings. Okay, there is nothing term called the separate term called government. Government is separate term. Law is separate term. It is not that like that. Government is formed by people. Law is formed by people. Okay, Who are the people who form the law? Who are the people who form the government? That is different thing. But they are human beings. Government is nothing but human beings. Law is nothing but human beings. Okay. So, if all of us take steps to eradicate poverty, that is also one kind of spirituality. If Abdul Kalam invented many missiles, okay, missiles will kill human beings. Okay, but the purpose of inventing that those missiles is to protect India. Okay, so it is so. Therefore, Abdul Kalam is actually a spiritual person, according to Aurobindo. That's what he says. Okay, so scientific discovery, scientific invention is also spirituality. Okay, scientists work harder, okay, to do the work, but what is the purpose? That is a different thing. But see, Abdul Kalam is a spiritual person. Okay, and why? Because he worked hard, and the purpose of working hard is to protect human beings. Therefore, it is also a philosophy. Swami Vivekananda is a spiritual person. He created philosophy. Okay, Periyar created philosophy. He is also a spiritual person. Okay, despite the fact that Periyar is an atheist and he is anti-religious, and yet the purpose is to serve human beings. Therefore, he is a spiritual person. Okay, whatever we do, what are the efforts we do to protect human beings is a spiritual act. He is a spiritual person. Therefore, eradication of poverty, scientific inventions and scientific discoveries, and the creation of philosophy are examples of spirituality. Okay. See, spirituality is not exclusive. Spirituality is all inclusive. Okay. Spirituality is actually all inclusive. Okay. These things is not spirituality likewise. We cannot exclude. We cannot. This is not exclusive concept. Okay. So earning money, doing scientific research, and helping people, doing pujas, worshipping God, everything is spirituality. Okay. So spirituality is inclusive. And see, spirituality is greater reality. Okay. Spirituality is a greater reality. Science, earning money, is focusing on apparent body. Apparent body. This is that is a physical body. Okay, I earn money and I spend money by going to tour or watching a movie. I enjoy it, and these pleasures, these experience focus on our physical senses. Okay, I watch a movie, I hear a song, and because of that I get physically I get pleasure. My eyes gets pleasure, my ears get pleasure. So physically I get pleasure. Okay, this is reality. Spirituality is greater reality. Okay, so it is focusing on divinity in self. Self-realization is spirituality. Okay, so if you watch a movie, if you watch a song, it is physical pleasure. But I want more pleasure, more. I want to understand more reality. I want to understand what is self, what is soul, and I am doing some effort to know what self-realization, to know self-divinity, and that is higher level of reality, and focusing on higher level of reality is called spirituality. If you do not know the basic reality, how can you know the higher level of reality? Okay, so therefore you earn money, have pleasure, have physical pleasure, have sex. So sex is a kind of physical pleasure, but that alone cannot be our spirituality. When we know that physical pleasure, then only we will be able to focus on higher level of reality, higher pleasure. Okay, so focusing on self-divinity is a higher reality, and that alone is not spirituality. That is the most important aspect of spirituality. Okay, see, material life and having physical pleasure alone cannot be the spirituality. Okay, religion alone, worshipping God. Okay, Sunday go to church and worship God. Friday go to temple and worship Lord Shiva or Vishnu. That alone cannot be spirituality. Earning money alone cannot be spirituality. Enjoying life alone cannot be spirituality. Okay, and they are all one aspects of spirituality. Okay, so and after doing enjoying life, and an individual must focus on higher reality, and then alone he could be called as a spiritual person. Okay, so I invented a smartphone. Okay, but therefore I am a spiritual person. No, I earned a lot of money. That alone cannot be a spiritual person. You earn money, you focus on science, you study books of science and other books, and you have knowledge, you earn money, and then you understand the greater reality, self-realization, self-divinity. So when we do these things, then only it is called as spirituality. Okay, and then see, another important point is that Indians, we follow dharma for its own sake. Okay, we follow dharma, Indians follow dharma for its own sake. But Europeans follow dharma just to go to heaven. Okay, Christians read Bible and follow Christianity, believing that after death or when Jesus comes for the second time, he will take us to heaven, and then in heaven we live happily. Okay, for that, since Jesus will take us to heaven, we will follow him. We will read Bible. We will follow his principles. For that purpose only, Christians are following Christianity. I mean, not Christians. Many people are following religion. Okay, but Indians follow dharma for its own sake, for the self-satisfaction. We follow. Indians follow dharma, but Europeans follow Christianity, just believing that God will take us to heaven. Okay, but Indians believe that even if God doesn't take us to heaven, it doesn't matter. This is what called as dharma. I just want to have self-satisfaction. For self-satisfaction only, Indians follow dharma, not for the purpose of going to heaven, not for the purpose of getting blessings of God. For these purposes, Indians do not follow dharma. But most of the Europeans, let's say even all the Europeans, follow dharma, believing that God will take them to heaven. Okay, so that should not be the case. I follow dharma even if God doesn't take me to heaven. See, I follow dharma, therefore evil people harm me, therefore evil people torture me physically, abuse me. But let me experience those tortures, and after experiencing those tortures, God will take me to heaven. That's why I tolerate these tortures. Okay, this is the Western concept. Okay, but Indian concept is that you torture me, I follow the path of dharma, therefore evil people and common people torture me, mock me. It doesn't matter. Even if God doesn't take me to heaven, accept me in heaven, even at that point it doesn't matter to me. I follow dharma for the sake of self-satisfaction. Okay, so this is what called as Indian spirituality. Okay, following dharma is most important thing in spirituality, and the Indian should not follow dharma just believing that okay, God will take me to heaven. That should not be the purpose of following dharma. You yourself should have the self-satisfaction. Okay, so Western philosophy is based on reason, but Indian philosophy is based on self-satisfaction and love. Okay, Western philosophy is based on reason, but Indian philosophy, Indian spirituality is based on self-satisfaction and love. Okay, so spirituality is inner experience. Okay, after 100 light years away there is heaven. God will take us to heaven. That is not the concept. Spirituality is the inner experience. There is nothing called as heaven. This our earth is said to be heaven. Our earth is said to be hell. Okay, in this earth, what kind of experience that you have? So the inner experience. If I want to see God, it's all about the inner experience. Okay, so spirituality is inner experience, and it is not scientific. By scientific observation, definitely we will not be able to have the spirituality. Okay, scientific observation. Science is one way of attaining, one aspect of attaining spirituality. That alone cannot be spirituality. And science focuses on reason, it is observation. But inner experience cannot be explained by reason. It should not be explained. It cannot be explained. It is impossible. Inner experience are impossible to explain. Okay, or they cannot be put into reason. Inner experience is spirituality. Therefore, this is the difference between scientific observation and spirituality. Scientific observation we need. We should study science. Then we have the lower level of reality. And then only we will be able to have the higher level of reality and the higher level of experience, and that is said to be spirituality. Okay, and so those such kind of inner experiences cannot be made into reason, cannot be scientifically observed. Okay, so we cannot confine ourselves with science, that is physical knowledge. Okay, we cannot confine ourselves with science, that is physical knowledge. Okay, and and then the inner experience focuses on appreciating beauty. This is the next point. Inner experience is on appreciating beauty. We appreciate the beauty of nature. Okay, and we appreciate Shakespeare or Tagore's poetry. Okay, so that is also one aspect of spirituality. Read poetry, watch a drama, and appreciate the drama. Enjoy watching the drama. Enjoy reading poetry. Enjoy the beauty of nature. Enjoy the beauty of a painting or drawing. They are all another aspect of spirituality. Okay, appreciating beauty is another most important aspect of spirituality. Okay, so everything having physical, that is science knowledge, appreciating beauty and earning money, they are all important aspects of spirituality. And earning money alone is not spirituality. Appreciating beauty alone is not spirituality. Okay, so The steps of there are 3 steps of attaining spirituality said by Aurobindo. The first one is understanding real self. That is, first point is understanding real self, and second step is after understanding the real self, we should understand the divine law. We should understand that all of us are embodiment of divine law. Okay, this is the second step. And after understanding that we are embodiment of divine law, we move towards light, power, peace and harmony. Okay. After understanding that we are embodiment of divine law, we should know divine law, we should follow the divine law. As we follow divine law, we move towards light, power, peace, unity and harmony. Okay, that is we experience a higher level of reality. My soul is a pure one, my soul is a higher one, and when we have the experience of self-realization, we know what is divine law. As we know what is divine law, we have to follow it, and then we experience the superior living being, that is God. Okay. So that's how these all the 3 steps of attaining spirituality. Okay, and if we do not know, if you are unable to understand, if you are unable to experience spirituality, then you have a Western notion, Western ideology. Okay, you should not have that Western ideology, and you should we all should shed away the Western ideology, and we should focus on Indian spirituality. Even after analyzing, doing research on Indian spirituality, if you are unable to experience it, then you have Western ideology. By Western ideology, you will never be able to have the spiritual experience. Therefore, your mind should shed away those Western ideology. Then only you will be able to have the real spiritual experience. Okay. Now, in this time, some Europeans have started to analyze the Indian philosophy, Indian spirituality. They are implementing it in Europe itself. Okay. Therefore, we also should do research on Indian spirituality. Okay. And so a few Europeans are doing it, a few Indians are doing it, but most of the Europeans are trying to enslave our mind. We should stop this one. Okay. A few Europeans, some of the Europeans understand that India is a great Indian spirituality. We must accept Indian spirituality. Some Europeans, a few Europeans say so. But most of the Europeans are trying to enslave us. They are trying to enslave our mind, and we as Indians should stop this nonsense. Okay. And most of the Indians and most of the Europeans do not apply spirituality in their life, and it is we have to correct Indians as well as Europeans. Okay. It is unfortunate that most of the Europeans do not follow spirituality, and as we were the first to talk about the real spirituality, it is our responsibility to talk about it, and we should create awareness to Indians themselves as well as to the Europeans. Okay, so some of the Europeans admit the value of India, and likewise we also should accept the value of Europeans. Okay, especially they contributed a lot for scientific knowledge. Okay, and as the knowledge on science is true and correct, we should accept them. Okay, so we should accept the scientific knowledge, and likewise Europeans also will accept our concept of spirituality. Okay, so therefore we must both Europeans as well as Indians should know the new form of spirituality. Okay, we both Indians as well as Europeans should understand the new form of spirituality. Okay, we shall accept Europeans' scientific knowledge. Okay, and at the same time, we as Indians should shed away our superstitious belief. Okay, and we should shed away our superstitious belief. We cannot simply stick on to religion. We should know the core of religion, and we should move on to spirituality. Let's say spirituality, we must revive our spirituality. This doesn't mean that we have to revive our religion. We have to glorify our Hindu religion. That is not so. Glorifying Hindu religion is not spirituality. It is one way of attaining spirituality. Therefore, we have to move beyond religion. Okay, this clarity all Indians should have. Okay, and too much of religion will lead us to chaos. Too much of religion will lead us to chaos. Therefore, Aurobindo makes it clear that we have to go back to ancient knowledge, but by ancient knowledge we should create new knowledge, and we have to move on to spirituality. Okay, when Aurobindo says that we have to move on to ancient, and sticking to ancient will lead us to a disaster. By moving to ancient knowledge, and by that we have to follow the modern way of life. Based on that, we have to follow the modern way of life. Okay, so please do not confuse yourself. Please do not misinterpret me. That's what Aurobindo says. So spirituality is not glorifying religion. Spirituality is higher reality. You all must understand this. And we have to go back to our ancient knowledge. This doesn't mean that we cannot follow any modern idea. Based on the ancient knowledge, we have to follow modern ideas. Okay, so finally, so India should stop the barrier of enslavement. Our mind, we should have both the political freedom as well as mental freedom from the Europeans. Definitely we must have this, and this is the time for creating Renaissance. If we do not create the Renaissance, then India's destiny is questioned. Okay, that's how he ends the essay. So India should stop the barrier. That is, the barrier is nothing but we need political freedom as well as mental freedom from the Europeans, and this is the time for us to create Renaissance in India. If we do not do it, India's destiny is questioned. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson, the Renaissance in India, and that's the end of the first unit. And we have one more unit, fifth unit, last unit. We have 1 month time. In that 1 month time, we will wind up the book, fifth unit, Indian mythology by Devdutt Patanaik. Okay, so thank you.